the friendship game is crazy with these ladies. It's wishy-washy, up and down, back and forth. But I mean, it's just we kind of come to expect it. But wow, I mean, it's really fast now. It's like 2 seconds later. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Basketball Wives. This is episode 9 of season 10. The wishy-washiness of the friendships is spooky. It's like you got years in and y'all flip within days. It's kind of spooky. But anyway, let's go where we left off, where there was all this fighting. There was this fighting breaking out. The twins are being dragged out. I thought it was a cup. I thought it was a glass. I really did. I thought it was a stem glass that had been thrown that actually hit Brandy in the head. It wasn't. It was actually a bottle. It wasn't actually a bottle. I said, girl, good thing you had that old wig on, child. Looked like the wig kind of, it cushioned her from some things. It didn't bust her head or anything like that. She was real adamant that she didn't want to go to the hospital. We know what that's about. Her in hospital, she just ain't got it to do. But she's okay and everything. So that was cool. But yeah, it was a bottle. It was a damn bottle. I said, wow. Anyway, that got too out of hand. It got out of hand very quickly. And again, I thought from people laughing and stuff, it just didn't seem like it was really that deep. I don't know. That didn't sit right in my spirit. Anyway, Duffy was doing this whole fake crying gig. Duffy, I'm looking at you crazy. Like, seriously? I'm giving. This whole fake crying thing, you started it. You started this. Y'all left LA and y'all went to Vegas, and you've been instrumental in the clash of the twins and the girls this whole time. You started that, Duffy, baby. I like you, but you started that. Malaysia was just looking at Duffy like she was crazy when she was talking, because everybody knew you started it. Anyway, so Duffy told us she going home. So you didn't invite us here, now you leaving. Like, all right. Later on, Brandy ends up telling the ladies about her health scare. Jackie and Malaysia, they got the chance to talk to the twins, and the twins were really embarrassed about the whole scene and how it went down and all that. I buy it and I don't buy it at the same time. You threw a bottle. How embarrassed are you? You threw a bottle. Like, stop. Whatever. A mess. A mess. Y'all being together is too volatile. So no, y'all don't need to be together right now. You throwing bottles and carrying on. It truly wasn't that deep. I mean, but I don't think the plates. Duffy threw the plate and stuff, and it just. Brooke's too old to be carrying. And I don't usually use that because I'm old. So I don't use that. You're not too old to argue. You're not too old to, if somebody disrespects you, you disrespect them back. But this mean girl act, you're too old for that. You're in a group of younger women and you're playing the mean girl act like you on the Jungle Gym. And it's unnecessary. You madder than the person that been violated, which would have been Angel. You madder at the twins than Angel. That's immature. That's immature. Anyway. And Brooke wasn't really taking account. But she wasn't taking account for her part in the whole thing. And then she ends up coming back and says, well, letting someone take me where I'm being that angry. Didn't nobody really do nothing to you. You've been picking ever since the shower. You've been picking. You and Duffy ain't letting stuff go. A mess. So it's just a mess. All ends is wrong. This thing didn't have to go there. Throwing fruit, throwing plates. What do you expect? It's ridiculous. Anyway, we sit down. We got British, Brooke, and Jackie. They sit and they talk. They're talking about having a basketball game over at Angel's house. Everybody's invited except for the twins. Um, Naturally, I don't think. First of all, first of all, even with the apology and all of that, I would never invite the twins back to my house again if I was Angel. Just the fact that you had to be escorted out of my house at an event, I wouldn't invite you back. I wouldn't. And I can like you. I actually have a friend. I actually had. I didn't even didn't. I had a New Year's Eve party, and he just was being loud. He got into a little tete-a-tete with someone. It was just verbal, but it was at my house on New Year's Eve. This was years ago. Um, it's New Year's Eve. I'm having a beautiful party with my friends at my house, and you're in here screaming and hollering like you're at a club. Well, my little guy friend told him, you gotta go. You gotta go. That's it. All of y'all gotta go. Every individual that was involved in the and nobody argued with him, baby. They got listen. Maybe they got their galoshes in their coats, honey, and they hit it. He was a bouncer, child. He was a bouncer at a bar. Anyway, they was like, oh, okay. That's what he did. His second job, he was a bouncer at a bar. So, wasn't nobody arguing with him, baby. They got their galoshes in their coats and they left. But I've never invited either of those people back to my house. Get out of here. This ain't no club. This is my home. You don't disrespect me in my home. You don't disrespect my home. This is not outside. This is my domicile. This is my place. Screaming and hollering. Nobody's screaming and hollering here but my ass. But yeah, I wouldn't never invite them back, period. And that was unnecessary. So, anyway, so they were having that. Twins ain't invited. Jackie stood up for them and stuff, but it's like, yeah, girl, they ain't invited. Moving on. Malaysia and the kids actually do settle on a house, nice house. The kids got everything they need. She got everything she needs. It's actually back in their old neighborhood, so they can go back to their old original schools that they were in and everything. And that was cool. And the oldest boy is actually going to high school, but it's the high school in the area that he was in when he lived in Los Angeles. So they'll get to be back joined with their old friends and stuff. So that was really nice. I was happy for them. Duffy and Iman. She gets home. She basically gets to tell him, she's made her decision. She's not stopping. And he was not happy. He's not happy. He wants less travel. When she said, I'll try to work this out where I'm not traveling as much, that seemed to appease him. Remember, I'm new to this. I didn't always do Basketball Wives. So when Duffy was on the show before, I wasn't around. But just what I've actually picked up of Duffy anymore, he don't trust her. Is that it? Is it that he doesn't trust you? I know I keep hearing like little things thrown out about like rumors of her not, of her cheat. Listen, she's a DJ. We know DJs are, last night a DJ saved my life. DJs are they're sex symbols. And they get it popping just like athletes and stuff. They kind of rank up in those careers. The DJ ain't even got to be cute, baby, but he can get some trim. And that's in all areas. That's in the straight bar, the gay bar. I've seen, gay DJs, baby. All about you spinning a track, honey. You spin a track, somebody will spin you, honey. That's just the way. The DJ is one of those types of jobs. Is it that he just doesn't trust her or something that really has gone on that I don't know about? But it just says he does not trust her in that realm. He literally wants to lock her up in the house. Me, I can't see. She's too young. She's beautiful. And locking me up in no house. I done told y'all before what I think about people being kept. It's cute when a man can afford to keep you or a woman can afford to keep you. But it's never a good idea. You need to make your own money. You need to have your own. When it's time to go, if it, God hope it's not a situation where you have to go, but when you need to go, you need to have your own money to be able to go with. You know how many people get stuck in situations? There are people, women who have lost their, and men have lost their lives because they are being kept, and they've gotten themselves into this situation where it's like this, and they can't afford to leave. They don't have anything. They don't have their own identity anymore, and they can't afford to leave. And there's people who have lost their lives. It is never a good idea. It's not. I mean, I know it sounds good. Oh, yeah, baby, I can take care of you. Oh, yes, baby, I can pay your mortgage. You know how much I like to hear that. I can pay your mortgage. That rings so good in my ear. I'd be like, can you know? Well, all right. And then I have to pull myself back and say, fool, you know better than that. Pay your mortgage. That there's stuff that goes along with that, and it's not good to be kept. You always need to have your own money on hand, just in case you need to get away. Get away. You need your own money. Okay? All right, moving on. Brooke had a little sit down with her dad, and she was talking about the fact that her and her mother is not speaking and haven't spoken for like a year. And her dad told her basically he ain't go through no whole long thing with her. You need to let it go. Life is too short. You're too old, and you need to let it go. I was like, wow, okay, that was to the point. Then we go over, we see Brandy in Malaysia. They have their little sit down. It was a little awkward at first, but then they're sitting there, and it was good. It was really good. Everything, they pretty much, everything's cool. And let's move on. Let's get it behind us. I was like happy. Like, yeah, it was getting on my nerves because neither one seemed like they wanted to be in that fighting space, you know. Brandy needs her friend at this point with everything she got going on, and Malaysia just didn't seem like she really wanted to be fighting with Brandy. Anyway, let's jump back now. Brooke goes to see her mom, and then her grandma. Her grandma's just as cute. Her grandma's there. Her mom's good looking lady too. Good looking lady. Baby, the brother is fine. I said, ooh. All right. Well, okay. Baby. And something wasn't right. You understand me? From the first, when she approached the door, and she had to knock on the door. Knock on the door. I was like, I don't understand that family dynamic. Baby, I got keys to my mother's house and my brother's house. Baby, I do ching ching and I let myself in. I don't know about them knocking on the door, but whatever. I mean, that's just, okay. She knocked on the door and the brother let her in. Her brother just as cute. And the way he hugged her and he held on to her told me he ain't seen her in a while. You know, he ain't seen her in a while at all. I said, what is that about? I said, okay. All right. So they break out. We found out how long. It's been like a year. Her and her mom have been speaking about whatever. Grandma just ain't even, she ain't take no time, baby. She went over to hug grandma. Grandma, good, glad to see her. She literally, grandma just put it down like, listen, we are family. It is this. Y'all need to be shaming yourself. Ain't nobody trying to hear that mess. And we need to come together, and then we need to hold on to each other, period. You know, she gave the grandma speech. It was what it was and what nobody trying to say nothing. Sit there and take it and shut the hell up. So, we fell in love with grandma. I like grandma. So that was that. And Brooke and the mom, they hug it out, and it seemed like they said they're going to try to work on everything. Then I look back at the brother with his old fine stuff. He looked like he just knows that it's all insincere, and it basically is being done for the camera. And I felt like his heart was breaking when I was looking at that man in his face. That man looked like, child, we probably ain't gonna see her for another year. You know what I mean? When these cameras clear out of here and they take these mic packs off of these folks, honey. He just seemed like he's taking the breakdown of the family worse than everybody else. And the grandma didn't like it either. But the brother looked like he is taking the hit with it. So that made me a little sad for them. But yeah, I kind of looked at Brooke and looked at her mama. So I can see where y'all banged heads, honey. Like, you think you special, or she thinks she's special, and y'all either one ain't going for it. It did seem a little insincere. It did. I sensed sincerity on the brother and the grandma, and I felt insincerity on both the mother and Brooke's part. Anyway, just a heads up. Keep on watching, y'all, because Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop Miami are coming back August the 8th, I believe it is, and we will be on it. Moving on. Malaysia and Jackie had a sit down and they had their moment. It was like, I missed my sister, and they both are literally really hopeful and happy about moving on with their friendship. And Jackie needs Malaysia because Jackie don't really have anybody to talk to, really. Like, Jackie loves Malaysia. Even though Jackie like mess, but Jackie loves Malaysia. Um, and Jackie, she needs Malaysia right now because there's just those feelings that she's dealing with being away from Doug. I think her being back friends with Malaysia will help her out a little bit with that. So I'm kind of happy for them. Then Brooke and Brandy had to sit down. This is the last thing. And they're talking, and I looked at Brandy and I said, Brandy, are you serious? This is what I'm talking about, the flip-flopping thing. Now, you just had all these good scenes. Y'all came together, you and Malaysia. Y'all had a dinner together, and now you're sitting with Brooke, and you told Brooke, I don't trust her. And your whole attitude was like, really? All these tears and all this, I'm so happy. It came across so fake. And I'm like, as long as you all been friends and what y'all are telling me about this friendship you all have, I don't trust her. So all that other stuff was fake. I ain't got nothing else to say, y'all. I'm just going to leave that at that. I'll see y'all in the next episode. That's a little too fake for me. Ooh, jeez.